Okay, I've asked the question on consciousness and individualized versus the oneness consciousness. So, okay, consciousness. I mean, everything on a certain level is using languaging and words to describe things. So, I would just say it depends on the context and the meaning one is attaching to consciousness and individualized consciousness versus the oneness of consciousness. So as um, as Hawkins has said, and as also Genesis calibrates 600, and also my own experience of the white light. So um, Hawkins has described it. So there's consciousness, individualized consciousness, or the soul. Is that the consciousness, which if you describe consciousness, if I describe consciousness as conscious of, i.e., consciousness of um, my body, consciousness of other bodies. Therefore, that's individualized consciousness. That's consciousness that's separated from, shall we say, the one, which is non-differentiated into individualized consciousness. So, for example, a human is an individualized consciousness. The oneness of consciousness of God has individualized into a very separate, limited form, like a human or a rabbit or a chicken or something. So that's in, and it has there are above 200 individualized souls and below 200 collective souls. So all the pigeons have a collective soul, all the cats have a collective soul, as checked by muscle testing. As you make a decision to go above 200 in integrity, for example, joining a 12-step program from addiction, um, then you suddenly get an etheric body, i.e., you get an individualized consciousness from yeah, this is amazing consciousness research. All humans below 200 have a collective soul. They're not actually individual souls. They're part of a collective soul. Um, anyway, I would ask Hawkins a few questions on that. Is it one consciousness, all humans below 200, one consciousness, or are there fields, attractor fields of, like 190? All the humans at 190 have a collective soul, and all the humans, not the whole, all the souls at 70, which is pretty anti-God, would have a collective soul. So I would have probably curious. But anyway, there's a collective soul below 200. Above 200, I think that was another question. We get the etheric brain, an individualized soul. And so we're making karmic decisions which affect the individualized soul. So the perception of the individualized soul um, is um, so when I was below 200, when I was in active addiction, the only thing I could think of, and I was probably part of a collective soul, was me. I didn't have any awareness of others. If I stole someone's donuts, didn't care. It was only me. That was my only experience. Me, 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 me. I think when I went to 200, I started to I was incarnated, I guess, with an individualized soul. I had the karmic merit now to not just to have my animal brain connected to a collective soul, but to have an individualized human soul. So if I make good choices, my soul can raise. So, and I get a consciousness and awareness and a conscience around how my actions affect other people. So that evolves up the levels of consciousness. So you become more and more selfless, more saintly as you raise and let go of more of the limitations, which are selfish or narcissistic within myself. So so that's that. So if you dissolve, if you go to enlightenment, you no longer have a sense of being individual at all. No location of body, thoughts, time, my thoughts, my body. This all dissipates into an infinite experience. And I've had those experiences many times. So that can be the very, very high states, and even samadhi, probably, which I had after my white light, where you're just immobilized with bliss. One could sit on a chair, blissed out, and whether one died or not, irrelevant. It's kind of samadhi. So it's more or less at the brink of 600. So you're in such sublime bliss that you're not aware of anything, and you wouldn't want to move, and you're not even aware of the body or anything really. Just sublime bliss, and what is witnessed is just witnessed in ecstasy and bliss. And that's it, really. There isn't anything you need to do. I mean, one wouldn't do anything. Well, why would you do anything? You don't need to eat a donut to feel more happy or move or talk or have a body. So that's very non-local fields of consciousness. And they go up to 1,000. And then there's the white light, which I also had, and Hawkins had in the snowbank, where the sense of an individual starts melting in the white light, and then the white light is all there is. So, I mean, you could either say that's the oneness consciousness beyond form, or you could say that's beyond consciousness, i.e., beyond the idea of a consciousness of a conscious of. So there is no consciousness of individual or me or world or other. So you could say it's pre-consciousness, or you could say it's consciousness, but not aware of any other thing. Okay, so, and then there's another level, probably, which is God unmanifest prior to the existence of consciousness. So, okay, I hope that answers the question on consciousness. Otherwise, one can ask the question again. I'll stop the video on that one.